WNBA in turmoil as Sophie Cunningham banned for exposing Brittney Griner. The WNBA suspension is real. The viral headline is not. Sophie Cunningham was not banned. Brittney Griner was not exposed. And the person actually disciplined by the league was not a player at all. It was a Seattle Storm co-owner punished after an exchange with two teenage fans holding signs in support of Cunningham. That correction does not make the story less dramatic. It makes it more important. Because beneath the clickbait is a real conflict involving player speech, fan treatment, ownership behavior, league discipline, and a culture war debate now. Following the Indiana fever from city to city. And the most revealing part may be how quickly Brittney Griner was pulled into a controversy that, based on the verified record, was never about her personally. Here is what actually happened. During the Indiana Fever's road game in Seattle, two teenage fans were seated courtside with signs supporting Sophie Cunningham. One sign thanked her for speaking up for girls. The fans later said Seattle Storm co-owner Celeste Keaton approached them and angrily confronted them over the message. Their account included allegations that profanity was used and that one of the girls was left in tears. The incident spread far beyond the arena. Video interviews with the teenagers circulated online. Political commentators picked it up. WNBA fans argued over whether the sign was an ordinary expression of support or part of a broader political demonstration surrounding the game. Then the league acted. The WNBA fined Keaton and suspended her from attending the Storm's next 5 home games. Seattle publicly said it respected the decision and repeated its commitment to a welcoming and respectful environment for everyone attending its games. That is the verified ban at the center of this story. It was not imposed on Sophie Cunningham. Cunningham remained an active Indiana Fever player. She continued appearing with the team, speaking to reporters, and playing in games. Days later, she said the controversy was not distracting her from basketball. Whatever people think about her views, the claim that the WNBA banned her is contradicted by the public record. So why are so many videos and posts presenting the situation that way? Because the accurate story requires context. The false version needs only 3 emotionally loaded names: Sophie Cunningham, Brittney Griner, and the WNBA. The controversy began before the Seattle incident, when Cunningham was featured in an ESPN profile and addressed transgender participation in girls and women's sports. She said she wanted to protect young girls in sports and locker rooms and did not believe they should have to compete against athletes she described as biological men. She also said she did not hate transgender people, that there was room to love everyone, and that she wanted the discussion to include fairness for female athletes. When reporters asked her about the reaction, she did not retract the position. She said she stood by what she had said. Those remarks immediately moved beyond basketball. Supporters praised Cunningham for expressing an opinion they believe many athletes are afraid to state publicly. Critics argued that her language excluded transgender women and contributed to a hostile environment for transgender fans and athletes. Political figures and national television programs entered the debate. The conversation became larger than Cunningham's role with the Fever or anything that had happened on the court. By the time Indiana arrived in Seattle, the game was carrying a political atmosphere that neither team could completely control. A small rally outside the arena supported Cunningham and a Washington ballot initiative concerning transgender participation in school athletics. Other fans displayed messages supporting transgender rights. Inside the building, competing signs reflected both sides of the dispute. The Fever later said neither the organization nor Cunningham had organized the rally or communicated with its organizers. That detail matters. Cunningham's public comments helped inspire the demonstrations, but that is different from directing them. A player can become the symbol of a movement without controlling every sign, speech, or confrontation carried out in her name. It is also why the conduct of team ownership became the central issue. A professional sports owner holds power that an ordinary fan does not. Owners represent the franchise even when they are not speaking at a press conference. When a paying customer is approached by someone connected to ownership, the interaction carries the weight of the organization. That does not mean every sign must be accepted without limits. Arenas can enforce policies against threats, harassment, obscene language, or messages that interfere with the event. but the reports surrounding these signs did not say they threatened a player or used profanity. One thanked Cunningham for speaking up for girls. The league's response suggests it believed the owner's conduct crossed a line. It did not fine the fans. It did not suspend Cunningham. It disciplined Keaton. And that is the first major twist the viral headline hides. The second is Brittney Griner. Griner was not identified as part of the Seattle exchange. She was not mentioned in the league's discipline. She was not named in Cunningham's verified comments about transgender participation. There is no credible evidence that Cunningham used the ESPN interview to expose Griner or reveal anything about her. Yet Griner's name was pushed into the story almost immediately. Some accounts treated Cunningham's broad comments as a coded attack on her former teammate. Others used Griner's height, voice, appearance, or identity as material for speculation. That leap is not supported by the facts, and it turns a policy argument into a personal attack on a woman who was not involved in the incident. That distinction is not a minor technicality. It is the difference between reporting and targeting. Brittney Griner is one of the most recognizable players in women's basketball. She has spent years facing invasive comments about her body and appearance. Using this controversy to question her identity does not explain the Seattle incident. It simply redirects public anger towards someone whose name attracts attention. The available evidence points in the opposite direction of a personal Cunningham-Griner feud. They were teammates in Phoenix for multiple seasons. Griner recently described Cunningham as frustrating to play against but highly valuable as a teammate, saying that when Cunningham is on your side, you wouldn't want anybody else. Around the same period, the former teammates shared a lighthearted pregame moment that was captured publicly. That does not mean they agree on every social or political issue. Teammates and former teammates can respect each other while holding different views. But it does make this Sophie exposed Brittney framing look even more manufactured. If Cunningham had intended to accuse Griner personally, there should be evidence, a name, a direct quote, a verified post, or a clear reference. None of that appears in the reporting reviewed for this story. Instead, the claim is built from implication. And implication is especially dangerous in sports gossip because it allows a creator to make an accusation while pretending not to make one. The headline asks the audience to connect dots that were never established. The thumbnail does the accusing. The narration hides behind phrases such as, "Fans know who she meant," or "the timing says everything." But timing is not proof. A fan theory is not a source. And a person's physical characteristics are not evidence of a secret identity. The real story is already strong enough without that fabrication. A WNBA player expressed a controversial opinion. Fans organized around it. Two teenage supporters said a team co-owner verbally confronted them. The franchise apologized. The league punished the owner. Cunningham defended the fans while saying everyone should have a safe space and be welcomed. Opposing fans continued to protest her comments at later games. That sequence raises serious questions about the league's next chapter. The WNBA is growing rapidly. More people are watching, more media outlets are covering it, and more political groups now recognize that the league can generate national attention. Growth brings money and opportunity, but it also brings conflict that used to stay outside the arena. For years, the league has promoted player activism and encouraged athletes to use their voices. That identity is part of the WNBA's culture. The challenge comes when players use those voices to express views that conflict with the dominant opinion inside parts of the league's fan base. Does supporting player expression mean supporting only messages the majority agrees with? Or does it also require protecting the right to state an unpopular position while allowing others to criticize it? The same question applies to fans. A transgender fan has the right to display a message affirming transgender people, subject to arena rules. A Cunningham supporter has the right to hold a respectful sign, also subject to those rules. Neither person should be threatened, abused, or treated as less deserving of safety because of a political disagreement. That principle is easier to repeat in a statement than to enforce in a heated building. Seattle's response acknowledged that something went wrong. The WNBA's suspension added a real consequence. Those steps matter because they show that ownership is not automatically protected from discipline. At the same time, the fine was not publicly detailed, and the league has not used the incident to announce a wider policy for politically charged fan demonstrations. That leaves teams to manage future situations in real time, with cameras recording every decision. And there will be future situations. After Seattle, demonstrations followed the Fever to Portland. Cunningham was booed when she entered the game, and fans waved transgender pride flags. Outside, another small group rallied in support of her position. Cunningham said she had nothing to do with organizing the events and was focused on doing her job. Indiana coach Stephanie White acknowledged the frustration. She wanted the conversation to return to basketball, but she also recognized that the league has to learn how to manage these issues as it grows. That may be the most honest assessment anyone has offered. The Fever cannot simply pretend the controversy does not exist. Cunningham is a rotation player on one of the league's most watched teams. Every road arena can now become a stage for competing political messages. Every reporter can ask the same question. Every opposing fan base can choose to boo, support, or protest. At the same time, Indiana cannot allow the issue to consume the season. The team is trying to win games. Players have preparation, injuries, matchups, and playoff positioning to manage. A controversy that produces national segments may still be a distraction inside a locker room, even when the player at the center says she is comfortable handling it. That creates a difficult balance for the Fever. If the organization strongly defends Cunningham's position, it risks appearing to adopt a political stance that not every teammate, employee, or fan shares. If it distances itself too aggressively, it risks looking as though it does not support a player's right to speak. Its public response so far has emphasized that players have their own views while the organization remains committed to welcoming people from every background. That is careful language because the situation demands careful language. The WNBA faces the same pressure at a larger scale. The league has not announced that Sophie Cunningham violated a rule. It has not suspended her. It has not formally tied her comments to Brittney Griner. The disciplinary action we can verify concerned an owner's interaction with fans. Still, the league is now being judged by groups that want opposite outcomes. One side wants the WNBA to defend transgender inclusion more directly and condemn Cunningham's language. The other wants the league to treat her comments as protected advocacy for female athletes and ensure that supporters are not punished for agreeing with her. No statement will satisfy both sides. That is why conduct may be the clearest standard available. Players can speak. Fans can respond. Protesters can assemble. Counter-protesters can answer. But ownership, security, players, and spectators must follow rules that protect people from harassment and intimidation. The league does not have to settle every national debate to say that an adult in a position of authority should not verbally berate teenage fans over a non-threatening sign. It also does not have to agree with every Cunningham statement to reject false claims about Brittney Griner. Those two positions can exist together. You can believe the Storm co-owner deserved discipline and still disagree with Cunningham. You can support Cunningham's right to speak and still reject attacks on transgender people. You can defend the teenage fans and also defend transgender fans who attended the same game. You can debate eligibility rules without turning a real player into the target of an unsupported identity rumor. That level of distinction is often missing from viral sports content because nuance does not fit cleanly into a thumbnail, but viewers should care about it. When a channel falsely says Sophie Cunningham was banned, it teaches the audience not to trust the next real suspension. When a headline claims she exposed Brittney Griner without evidence, it turns a league controversy into personal misinformation. And when enough creators repeat the same framing, the false version can become more familiar than the documented event. The irony is that the truth contains a stronger accountability story. A league disciplined a member of team ownership after fans alleged they were mistreated. That is unusual. It shows the WNBA understood that a franchise leader's behavior could damage trust in the arena experience. The action may not answer every question, but it is a concrete response. Cunningham's own reaction also complicates the simple culture war script. She criticized the co-owner, praised the teenagers for standing up for their beliefs, and said she believed there should be love and a safe space for biological girls, biological boys, transgender women, and transgender men. Her critics may see tension between that inclusive language and her eligibility position. Her supporters see the statement as proof that disagreement does not equal hatred. Either way, those are her actual words and positions. They are more useful than an invented story about secretly exposing a former teammate. Griner's role should be described just as carefully. She is a former Cunningham teammate who recently spoke positively about what Cunningham brings to a team. Unless Griner chooses to address this controversy directly, responsible coverage should not assign her a position, a reaction, or a private conflict. Silence is not confirmation. A facial expression is not a confession. A body type is not evidence. And being famous does not make a person fair game for every rumor attached to a trending topic. So is the WNBA in turmoil? The league is certainly under pressure. It is managing unprecedented attention, political demonstrations, player activism, fan division, and public scrutiny of ownership. The Seattle incident revealed how quickly a disagreement can move from social media to courtside and then into league discipline. But turmoil does not mean the league is collapsing. The games continued. Cunningham continued playing. Fans on both sides continued expressing themselves. The WNBA imposed a punishment. The Fever kept winning. The conflict is real, but so is the league's ability to respond and move forward. The next test will be consistency. Will arena staff apply sign policies equally, regardless of the message? Will owners and executives be held to the same conduct standards as fans? Will the league clarify how it handles political demonstrations connected to games? Will media outlets separate eligibility debates from personal attacks on individual players? And will content creators stop turning Brittney Griner into a prop whenever a story about gender becomes profitable? That last question matters because Griner did not need to be in this headline for the story to work. Her inclusion did not add a verified fact. It added a target. The clearest verdict is this. Sophie Cunningham made controversial public comments and stood by them. Supporters brought signs to a Fever Storm game. A Seattle co-owner was accused of confronting those fans and was then fined and suspended for 5 home games. The Storm apologized. Cunningham was not banned. And there is no credible basis for saying she exposed Brittney Griner. The real controversy is not a secret revelation about one player. It is a public test of whether the WNBA can protect expression, enforce respectful conduct, and resist misinformation while the entire country watches. So what do you think matters more here? Cunningham's original comments, the way the teenage fans say they were treated, or the false headlines that dragged Brittney Griner into a story that was never proven to involve her?